So Binance is under investigation by the U.S. Department of Justice, which is the scariest arm of the U.S. government because they bring the massive criminal charges. They're supposedly investigating CZ, Binance US, and Binance Global for sanctions evasions and money laundering. Money laundering is a charge that carries a 20-year prison sentence, worst and maximum case. Binance's defense attorneys are arguing with the Department of Justice in all these closed-door negotiations, according to some anonymous source. They're asking for a plea deal. They're asking for terms such as for CZ to step down as the CEO. They're pleading not to do an indictment because that would create a massive bank run on Binance and destabilize the entire crypto market, which the Department of Justice is a public servant supposed to help U.S. people, and doing that would likely cause financial harm. So that's what the argument in favor of Binance not getting a criminal indictment looks like. Apparently, the investigation from the Department of Justice started back in 2017. Apparently, the investigation started back in 2018, and apparently, between 2017 and 2022, Binance filtered $780 million from the Russian darknet site called Hydra, where sellers would sell drugs online and then open anonymous Binance accounts and move the money through Binance, and Binance should have had more protections in place to stop this money laundering. Additionally, apparently there was a Lazarus hack of a Slovakian exchange, and the Lazarus hackers were able to open dozens of anonymous Binance accounts and filter the stolen funds through Binance and ultimately use it to purchase weapons to benefit North Korea. So those are kind of the heavy allegations that we're hearing. Binance is the largest and most successful cryptocurrency trading company in the world. It boasts of 150 million users, and on the global platform, it does $9 billion of transaction volume every day. And on the US platform, it does 15 million worth of transactions. The Department of Justice can attach jurisdiction to the global platform if it's found that Binance has US citizens trading on the global platform without proper KYC. And according to the SEC complaint earlier this year, there's 1.47 million of such users. And when Binance siphoned off the US arm from the global arm in 2019, apparently, CZ encouraged some of the larger U.S. traders to set up VPNs and get onto the global platform or stay on the global platform. If that's proven, that will give the U.S. jurisdiction over the larger Binance global enterprise. Binance was charged with commodities fraud by the U.S. CFTC on March 27th of 2023, and it's alleged that not only did it fail to register with the CFTC, but it was actually CZ trading against Binance users. So if that's proven, that's going to look like commodities fraud, and then it can add the criminal charge of commodities fraud with it, which does come with a 25-year jail sentence. And then on June 5th, the SEC charged Binance with securities fraud. They laid 13 different charges alleging that the BUSD, the stablecoin, the Binance stablecoin, and the BNB, the Binance token, are both securities that were not properly registered, and that there was illegal wash trading happening on the platform. On July 7th of this year, Binance lost several key employees. It lost its general counsel, the chief strategy officer, the senior vice president for compliance, the global vice president for marketing, and the senior director of investigations. So it's alleged that those people left because they didn't like how CZ was reacting to this Department of Justice complaint. But a lot of them actually posted online, I left for family reasons. CZ chalked it up to a company with 8,000 staff. People turn over all the time, but it does seem pretty suspicious. These are high up compliance people that could be, in the criminal crosshairs if it turns out they knew there was some criminal activity going on that they didn't stop. On the bright side, Binance Global is charging ahead. It's got its first operational MVP license in Dubai, and Dubai, or the United Arab Emirates, have put forth some really friendly crypto legislation where they're not considering any alternative coins, or of course not Bitcoin, as securities, and they've made it just very clear law so people can operate, with this license that Binance has. Other exchanges can apply to get that, and they don't have to worry about this crazy enforcement environment in the US where you don't know how to comply with the laws, and you don't know when the government's going to come and charge you and ruin your life. So it just seems like a much better environment for crypto companies right now. And also Binance Japan launched, and Japan, after the whole Mt. Gox saga, they set in place some really strict rules around segregating customer assets on crypto exchanges. FTX complied with that, and their FTX Japan customers were all made whole without having to go through all the whole bankruptcy process because their funds weren't commingled with the rest of them. So Binance undoubtedly has the same setup in order to be approved in Japan. So that's good news for the company. But these DOJ charges, they're pretty serious. Money laundering, so you can get 20 years in jail for that if it's proven that you moved money into or out of the United States with criminal intent and with reasonably foreseeable understanding that you're going to use interstate commerce. So if you're using the internet, that's a pretty low bar. If any of that Hydra money went into the US, or the Lazarus ones, if it all stayed on Binance Global, it is going to be hard. They can say, okay, there were US users on Binance Global, but did that money leave Binance Global and come into the United States borders, the United States internet? That's going to be the tricky question for them to prove. Wire fraud, if he gets that charge, we did see that charge for FTX and Alex Mashinsky. I don't think Binance is quite the same situation, but you have to have a scheme to defraud someone out of money and an intent. So if it turns out that Binance is actually a Ponzi scheme, which lots of people have alleged, CZ always remains strong that it's not, and I think the track record speaks for itself. It's been very successful and well-run exchange for the last 5-6 years and never had any liquidity problems. But if it does turn out that that's all a ruse, and behind the scenes the only reason it's been able to keep operating is because they're using new people's money to pay out other people that are doing withdrawals, like it's a Ponzi scheme like FTX and Celsius have been shown to be, then that wire fraud charge can come into place, and that's a 20-year jail sentence. Commodities fraud, which already has been alleged, has a 25-year jail time, and that's failing to register with the CFTC, performing transactions with no economic purpose other than self-profit, and providing false or misleading information to customers, or stealing customer funds. So hopefully none of that was taking place, but it is alleged in the CFTC complaint, and it's alleged that CZ was trading against the clients on his own platform. And then securities fraud, another hefty sentence of 25 years, and that one you have to be found to have used manipulative or deceptive tactics to purchase or sell a security. There's the unregistered security, and then there's security fraud, and the fraud involves lying, but the allegations of the wash trading, that would be deceptive practices to manipulate a price. So if Binance was just trading on its own account to make a certain token, especially if it's the BNB token or something like that, to make it artificially increase in price and then selling it for its own profit, that would constitute securities fraud. So we'll have to stay tuned and see what happens here. As much as I do respect and like the Binance platform, I don't use it myself. Once they set those biometrics KYC in 2019, I immediately got off of it, and I would highly recommend not having your money stuck on this, because if there is some kind of freeze order, there's one pending from the SEC case that they could freeze all assets on it. We saw last week the SEC asked Coinbase to freeze all trading on every coin other than Bitcoin. Like, it's just become a really harsh environment right now. So to avoid having your money frozen on Binance, possibly at no fault of Binance's, just the government overreach, or if Binance is a criminal actor, one or the other, you don't want your funds stuck on there. So get it off onto cold storage and stay tuned. Thanks, and make sure to follow me on Twitter and like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you and have a great day.